Hey folks, I'm here to do the number 5 OBW unveiling of a roll of 1964 Lincoln cents. It looks like we don't have anybody in the studio presently, so I will go ahead and take the 2 house spots that are left and put them in the bag with everything else. And I got my bag here. We have 48 coins going out to someone else and 2 staying with the house. I'll mix these all up. This is everyone who's paid for a spot in this already. And get them all in there, mix them up real good. Hey Ray, how you doing? And HD Shovel Ed. Hey, hey, hey. So I've got my roll of pennies started here. I've got my flips. I've got the bag already done, so it's time to get started. I'll go ahead and open these up. For anyone who's watching this that has any concerns about me touching coins that came directly out of a OBW roll, which is an original bank wrapped roll, you don't have to worry about it because I scrub my hands very thoroughly with good antibacterial soap before I get started, and they are dry as dry gets. No oils on my hands at present. And I'm picking the ends of the roll apart so it doesn't just come apart on me. This one's giving me a little bit of an issue. Here we go. It takes a strong thumbnail sometimes to pull this apart. Okay, I'm going to unwrap it like this right here. Whatever comes out on the left side is coin number 1. Ooh, these look nice and shiny. There's the wrapper. Alright. I got coins number 1 through 50 lined up right here. And for coin number 1, hey Jeff Dunn, Art Ring. Okay, Art, I'll give you the 2 house spots. No, wait a minute. Donald Harmon wanted the last 2. Sorry, buddy. Donald gets them. He's the first one to come up and ask for it. So, coin number 1 is going to belong to J. Miller. Oop. So, J. Miller's coin is right here. Oh, these are nice. Pretty, pretty. What we're especially looking for on this is a really nice double die reverse. There's also a number of double die obverses, minor double die obverses, double dies. There's a lot of things that you can find on 1964 Lincoln cents. So there's one side. Hey Frank, didn't see anything on that side. Let's take a look at the reverse and see what we see there. And okay, so I see nothing on this one. Looks like a relatively normal Lincoln cent there. I get my eyes adjusted to looking at the 1964 design. Move some of this other stuff out of the way. Oops. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. There we go. Alright. So, coin number 1 comes out from under the scope. Goes into its flip. These are actually pretty nice coins. Goes in flip number 1 with the name to whom it belongs. Put it off to the side. We draw for coin number 2. Okay, I really wish I could go writing. Coin number 2 belongs to Mr. Gravitt. Here's coin number 2. Let's hope for the best on this. I haven't managed to find a whole lot. Yesterday we did a 55S roll. Some of you were there. It was a really nice roll of coins. This one's kind of average in condition, so I'm hoping that we get some good die varieties out of it. Nothing on the obverse. I'm not seeing anything so far on the reverse either. That's interesting. It looks like the FG might be slightly doubled. I'll come back to it and I'll zoom in on it. We'll see. Not seeing anything else. So it would be a very minor one if it is one at all. We'll zoom in on this FG and see what we can see. Oops. Moved a little too far there. Where are we? Here we are. No, there's nothing really there. Too bad. It's another quote-unquote normal coin. Get my focus back in straight here. There we go. Hey, Bill Betts. Alright, coin number 2 belongs to Mr. Gravitt. Put this inside the flip, put his name in there, move it off to the side. Get ready for coin number 3. Who owns coin number 3? Will it be Bill Betts? How about that? You got here just in time, sir. Bill Betts coin goes under the scope. These coins are actually pretty nice. I mean, there's a few. This one's a nice gem. So there we go. Let's see what it is, if anything at all, other than just a 1964 Lincoln cent. Not seeing much. Nothing up my sleeve. We got nobody. On that side, let's check on the reverse. See what we got coming up here. Yeah. Looks like a nothing gained on this one too. But unfortunately, we could have ended up with just normal roll. But you never know. You never know what you're going to end up with in a bank wrapped roll. That's what's so fun about these. It's more fun to find stuff, but it's the hunt. The thrill of the hunt is definitely part of it. All right, so who gets coin number 4? Coin number 4 belongs to J. Miller. J. Miller is a website customer, paid for these on the website. That is lincolncent.com. You don't have to pay for them in my auctions, but I do offer them in the auctions too on Tuesday evenings. Tuesday evenings starting at 8 p.m. You buy these coins relatively inexpensively. I mean, these all cost under $1 a piece. You get a chance of finding something that's quite valuable. Of course, this is not a great example of that so far. I have found absolutely nothing of value in this roll. But it's always possible. I'll take a look at this with my loupe. I usually have a little better luck with my loupe than the lighting I get out of my Dynascope. I'm going to take a quick look at it here and see what we can find. Yep, precisely what I thought I saw. Nothing. Okay, well, here's another one. Normal 1964 cent goes in there for J. Miller. Well, this could have been a lot better than it is. Only 5 coins in, though. Coin number 5. Oh, I've already put it on there. Let's see who it belongs to. Coin number 5 goes to Bulldog USMC. Bulldog I don't think is here right now, so we'll have to cheer him on. And it goes under the scope. He got some of the 55S coins yesterday. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything there. Nothing going on with the motto. Not a doubled I. Let's see what the reverse looks like. Not seeing anything at all. Yet another normal coin. Because sometimes these rolls just don't work out to do anything. Bill, I don't know whether you got any of the die varieties from the 55S roll, but there were probably almost half the roll ended up being RPMs, which was pretty nice. Here's coin number 6. Who does that belong to? Mr. Adams. Robert Adams. And let me put coin number 6 on the board. See what we're doing here. Ugh. Well, this video is going to be short. Unless we start finding something. Come on. What is wrong with my lighting? The coin's too bright. That's what the problem is. These coins are pretty bright. So they're nice 1964 Lincoln cents, but it appears as though so far that's all we have. It's 1964 Lincoln cents. Okay, so this one belongs to Mr. Adams. And let's draw for coin number 7. Coin number 7 goes to Mr. Harmon. Do believe he's here watching. So, here we go. Lucky number 7. Let's see what we got out of this. We've still got plenty of chance to start finding some double dies in this. Of course, we're not going to find any repunch mint marks because, well, we don't have any mint marks. I do believe this one has a little bit of doubling on the top of the hook on the 4. It is possible. How is that happening? Shut that down here real quick. Hey, sorry about that. Interruption. I don't want that happening continuously while I'm shooting video. Hey, well, so far I'm seeing yet another normal Lincoln cent. So we can get out of the reverse on this one. Well, it appears to be nothing of high level importance. Sorry, Mr. Harbin. I'm out with another normal coin. That's coin number 7. Let's see who belongs to coin number 8. Bulldog USMC. Let's take a look at what Bulldog got on his coin. Some of these are actually really nice bright coins. It's going to be... He's got a hair on his nose. Let's see. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing up my sleeve. So it may have a little bit of extra thickness, but that's pretty common for 1964. Let's see what we've got over here. Not seeing anything. Nothing mentionable. $1982 is the bane of your coin roll hunting existence. I might have to agree with you, but 1982D, 82 and 82D, at least you have a chance of finding something. I've always hated 1981D. Doesn't seem like you can find much of anything in 81D. Let's see who's going to belong to coin number 9. Bulldog. So, another coin in a row right here for Bulldog. Coin number 9. Let's see what's on that one. You see nothing there. Eesh. Nothing on the obverse. I had no idea what we were getting into when we started this. Just like going into battle, you never know. So, coin number 9 is a normal coin. Well, let me speed pop through a few of these and see what happens. This one's Mr. Harmon's, coin number 10. I've seen nothing so far. Nothing at all. Yet another normal coin. See how the lighting makes it almost look like there's doubling on the E? It's just not there. I can tell by the thickness that it's just not there. There's nothing going on here. Kind of late dice date on the reverse too. So far we have a normal roll. If it works out that we end up with a normal roll, you're all going to get another shot. I'll get another roll out and see what happens. It won't be today though. We'll have to do it another time. It takes almost an hour to get through all these. Can't do videos much longer than an hour. Except I've proven that wrong with 2.5 hour auction videos. Nothing on that side. Let's see what's on it. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know who gets this one yet. I haven't drawn a name. Yeah, and drawing a name, this one's going to be Todd Carmen. Okay, now we can look at the reverse. Now we know whose it is. And we know what it is. It's exactly the same as everything else I've already pulled out of this roll. So far we have a nothing roll. And when we get a nothing roll, my policy is to always give you another chance. Because who could have known? I certainly didn't know. Coin number 12 belongs to Robert Adams. Alright, let's get coin number 12 up on the conveyor. I see nothing. Dr. Jones. Still nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. 64 is a very populous year. There's a lot of die varieties, but there's also a whole lot of coins. And it was in the middle of the roll hoarding craze. It's the mint mark issue 1965 through 67 tried to resolve that. Too many people were keeping coins. And the whole 1964 debacle over the removal of silver the next year and minting 64 coins through 1966 put out a whole lot of coins. A whole lot of people saved a whole lot of coins. And so there are tons of rolls of these things in existence. It's just finding the right roll. You never know when you're going to find the right roll. Oh, did I find something? No. Looking for there should be a little bulb on the bottom of the L. I thought I saw that earlier, but I guess I didn't. There's nothing there. That's a little bit of a lamination peel going on the side of the N. Nothing on the obverse. Let's see what's on the reverse. Hair. It's like a little fibers came out of the paper. Wrapper. Now, these things were bank wrapped in 1964. They've been wrapped up since then, so nobody's seen the contents of these things. What is that, 55 years? 55 years is a long time to go without seeing the light of day. Longer than I've been around. Another Mr. Adams. Get this next one on here. At least these coins are in good shape. I mean, it may not look like it when you look at them under the scope, because under the scope everything is, well, magnified, including all the specks of dust and dirt and grime and other things. But if I had a camera shot that could actually show you what the coin looks like without magnification, it's pretty nice. These things are pretty close to gem. Now, a gem coin isn't really worth that much more than the money that you paid for these. We're actually hoping for die varieties, which is one of those mysterious things that happens when you open up a original bank wrapped roll. You guys are allowed to type something in the chat if you want to. Or if you're just so mesmerized by watching what's going on here, then you're fine to do that too. Who's next? Oh, Bulldog. Mr. Bulldog. Let's get coin number 15 on the pad. Take a look. You see that little tiny thing down below the L. I think I've seen a couple of those. Let's zoom in on this and see what this is, because I think we've actually got something here. Boy, that's really hard to tell one way or the other. I have to look at it with my loupe and see if I can get something out of it with my loupe. Okay, let me back out. Finish taking a look through this coin. I do see that right there. You can see it right on the bottom of the L. It looks like it could be doubling. I'll just have to keep going. Get back to these. Just like every roll I do, I go back through the coins and I make sure I attribute them. Add them to the website if that needs to be done. Before I send them to you, you've got everything I know about the coin on the flip insert. I've got another stack of nothing going on right here. Sorry, Bulldog. Well, so I'm going to have to take a poll of the people who purchased spots in this roll and ask them, you want me to try another 64 plain? How about a 64D, a 61D, a 60D? Alright, I got the next coin on there. Now you can see this one obviously has a couple of spots on it, so it's not going to be so great. There's Mr. Carmen. It's not huge black spots, it's just little milk spots, but you can see them. So it does affect the, see there right there? It affects the grade of the coin. Paula! How's life in Oregon? Life in North Carolina is doing pretty well. I checked yesterday just to see, not for any really good reason, but I did check yesterday to see how long it would take for me to drive from here to Salem, Oregon, where my stepson is. Bulldog gets the next one. Oh, I'll show you. Yeah, there's my writing right there. Bulldog. Anybody want to guess how long it takes to drive from Cary, North Carolina to Salem, Oregon? Yeah. I'll let you guys think on that one for a couple of minutes. I generally look at and around the L of Liberty. I look at the IN of In, for In God We Trust, to make sure that I don't have, there is a double die, it's Kaneka die number 22, that has doubling next to the I and the N. It's pretty obvious. For some reason it didn't spread to the other parts of the coin. I check for doubled eyelids on these. I check for the crosslet of the 4 to see if there's doubling on the top of the crosslet of the 4. There are a few minor double dies that I don't necessarily subscribe to that have little points coming out of the T's, one direction or the other. You'll see little tiny extra points of metal coming out of one of the T's of trust. I'll see if I find one of those. I'll show it to you, but I don't list those. So. Then on the reverse, the first thing I generally check is going to be the designer's initials. Because if you look at the designer's initials and they're doubled, well, you're likely to find doubling in other parts of the coin. If they're not doubled, you're not likely to find doubling in other parts of the coin. Now I take a look around and I look for any extra thickness toward the rim, any separation lines toward the rim, I'm looking for any notching in the corners of the letters. There's not generally ever going to be anything going on the very center of the design, which is 1964 is just not known for that. But I check it real quickly anyway. You never know when you're actually going to discover something new. The only way to discover something new is to look at everything. I just want a number of hours, Paula. Because I did it in numbers of hours and I'm not in a position to be able to guess At exactly what, a day and 17 hours? What is that? 24 and 7 is 41 hours. Somebody looked, because it takes 43 hours. It's 43 hours of driving. Mr. Harmon gets the next one. Let's see what we got. Man, it would be so nice if I was just pulling massive double dies out of this. You see, this is one of those things that I really want. I would love for this to be one of those rolls where almost every coin in the roll is a nice double die. That would be so sweet. I'll zoom in on this and take a look at the FG, because it appears that it could have some minor doubling on it. No, that's just die wear. You only have one high ridge line, and all the other shine is actually in flow lines. You can see all those flow lines headed to the bottom right of the screen. Well, those are flow lines. They're molecules of steel on the die that actually creep toward the edge of the die, kind of like rain on a windshield. And this, unfortunately, is just another normal coin. Oh, it's a good teaching tool, though. See, like from there, it looks like it could be extra thick. So it's kind of hard to tell one way or the other until you zoom in on it. And that's just the fallacy of my lighting. I don't know what the fault of my lighting. Dynoscope is a nice scope. It's a nice little camera and everything else. But when it comes to doing coin hunting like this, it gets a little bright sometimes, a little too bright. I don't have anybody that this one's going to belong to. Let's see. Up. I don't know, it's a bulldog. A lot of the people who took spots in this took 9 or 11 spots, and so I see the same names repeating over and over again. And then I'm going to get my chance to do this all over again, because it appears that this entire roll is going to be more or less normal coins. If we find one really good die variety out of this, I'd be real happy. So far we found nothing. Mr. Dowdle, that's a good question, and that's something that I would like to approach with people, because I do have a number of rolls that nobody with any variety intelligence has ever been through them. The problem with that is that these rolls cannot be called unsearched. The only way a roll can be called unsearched is if it's an original bank wrapped roll. And that's why my business model on this centers around rolls that nobody could possibly have ever looked through. I can't guarantee that if I pull out a 1917 circulated roll and start going through it, that we will or will not have any chance of finding double dies. Mr. Carmen. And so I kind of shy away from doing roll reveals on rolls that there's some chance I could have rigged them. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very honest person, but I like to have the safety of showing you that I'm 100% honest. I didn't open this roll until I was on camera, so I have no idea what's in it. Of course, I got a much better idea now that we're on coin number 20 and I still not found anything. Alright. Isn't it funny how you teach yourself to do things with one particular hand and you can't do it with the other hand? I cannot stuff a flip with my left hand to save my life. I cut meat with my left hand, though. Kind of weird. Alright, coin number 21, Mr. Blackjack. Belongs to Todd Carmen. Yeah. Todd Carmen. There we go. See, my camera's acting all wonky and funny. For some reason, see how the light changes? It's kind of weird. That's maybe the lamps I've got or something. I don't know. Alright, here's coin number 21. And, well, there's a huge gash through the R of Liberty. If we're Doing this based on interest factor. This is a pretty interesting coin because it's got some damage on it and all the rest of them don't. Wrong kind of interest, right? And see, that FG looks like it could be doubled too, but it's just the die wear. Gosh, I got to look at this up close. Yeah. Not doubling, just die wear. There's only one high ridge line there. Alright. Yeah. Wishful thinking. It's free. I like free stuff. And wishful thinking doesn't cost me anything except a little bit of time. We've been on this for half an hour. We're almost halfway through the roll. So I figure these shows to be about an hour long a piece. Todd Carmen again. I guess we're just going to get all your coins out of the way quickly. See that little thing? It looks like a little tiny flag on the outside edge of the crosslet of the 4. It's right there on the top of the crosslet. Here, Paula, I'll turn the right side up for you. So you can't see anything that way. You have to have it upside down to see it. It's just because of the direction of the lighting. It's right there. You see, look at the top of the crosslet on the 4. There's a little tiny extra flag there. Back in the day, John Wexler would list these things. And he's got a lot of 1964 double dies listed because of that doubling on the top of the crosslet of the 4. I do not list those. Just far too many of them. Remember what I was telling you about the T's? T-T. T's. Not T-E-A-S-E, but the T apostrophe S. If you want to put an apostrophe in it. Right there. You look on the left side of the crossbar of the T. Just right there on the very bottom of the left side of the crossbar of the T, you'll see a little tiny nub sticking out. Those have also been listed as double dies. I personally, if a fly lands on it and you can't see it because a fly landed on it, I'm not interested in listing it. Some things are just too minor. Just no market for them at all. And while this is a research hobby, I also, I don't know, I think there's a certain amount of minor that you can go to before research becomes futile. And there was a time that I didn't believe that, but I definitely do now. All right, Robert Adams gets the next one. Mr. Adams, let's see your coin. We get a spot. Nothing up my sleeve, and I see nothing here. There's a little bit of extra thickness you can see in the letters in trust, especially in the R, or like that crosslet on the T. That's very normal for 1964 through 1968 because these master dies had been beat to heck by the time 1964 came around. Actually, 62, 63, they're pretty bad too. And, well, the design is just kind of big and mushy. That did resolve itself in 1969 when they changed the design altogether. They changed the engraving, made a brand new engraving that looked a whole lot more like Brenner's original rendition of the Lincoln Cent. J. Miller. See, before when I was doing this, they came out nice. Now, see the light change? That is weird. I gotta figure that out. Okay, quit playing and show people a coin. I start in a different area here. Maybe we'll get some luck. We'll look at the date last. Didn't do me any good, did it? Wow, this is going to go down as the most boring video. I hope it's more boring, Paula, there than it is here. Keeps you on to watching. The one good thing about these is that there are very few spots on them. They're actually pretty decent coins. Nice, pretty hot, uncirculated looking coins. So I can give you that much. And coin number 25. Halfway through the row. Coin Dragon, I'm not seeing a whole lot of chips on these coins. What I am seeing is a whole lot of cases. This is Robert Adams. A whole lot of cases of just some real slight lamination. Just little lamination flecks going on. And that's like that little spot on the rim above the G-O of God. That's actually just a little lamination fleck. And those are very common on 60s Lincoln cents. See, there's a little break in the surface right there, right on the coat. Those are kind of normal, if you might say. Wasn't a whole lot of quality put into minting these coins. And here's a spot and a gash. Remember, these came straight out of the mint bag, straight into these rolls, straight into my hands. So whatever you see here was probably done inside the mint. Here's our first decent marker I've seen. We've got a bunch of die scratches running east and west through states. Let's see if there's anything that'll give us a good clue that there's something else going on. Because a die marker is nothing without something for it to belong to. And once again, I'm seeing not much. Alright, so we've got number 25 taken care of. We have 25 left. There are 25 spots remaining. Let's see what we can get out of the next one. Stick it on there. Draw a name. Bulldog. Let's see what I got for you here, Marine. God, look at that. There's a bunch of funky grime stuff on the coin that ended up kind of filling up the L like that. That's just little flecks of metal. If I were to actually like take a Q-tip and rub that just a little bit, all those little flecks of metal would come straight off the coin. They're not attached to the coin really, they're just kind of sitting there. And well, I'm just kind of sitting here looking at another normal 1964 cent. It happens. It happens a lot more often than it doesn't, I can tell you that for sure. And that's why die varieties have value. You're not going to find them in every roll you go through, that's for sure. Alright, Bulldog, got you another one there. Next one belongs to Bill Betts. Bill's watching. Let's see what we get out of the next coin here. Well, it appears as though somehow I fell slightly out of focus. Let me get a little bit better. There we go. It's interesting how the L could be flattened and nothing else. That is weird. But not weird as in valuable weird, just weird. Oh, it looks like we have yet another normal coin. I'm going to speed up the process just a little bit. I'm starting to run a little bit behind on time. It'd be nice if I was actually finding something. Let's see who gets coin number 28. It's a pretty coin. And just looking at it, that's a solid 65. I mean, that's a nice looking coin. Mr. Gravitt. Mr. Gravitt gets this one. Let's stick it up on there. Let's see what we end up with. See all those little die scratches there? Those have no effect at all on the grade of the coin. For those of you who are learning how to grade, those little spots generally those don't have much to do with the grade either because they're so small. What'll affect your grade is like that gash on the cheek. That'll affect the grade. So something that small, I mean, it looks huge on this camera, but it's actually really small. Something that small might keep you from being able to grade the coin a 68 or a 69, but anything other than that, it's not really going to hold you back. What generally holds you back on these is a lack of luster, which these don't have at all. These have nice luster. That's why they're playing with the camera so much. They're really bright coins. The other thing that'll play with you is if you get these little, see that brown spot next to the U of United there? You get those out in open field areas where they're easier to see, and they're going to detrimentally affect the grade of your coin. All right. I see a few spots in the lower field on the reverse on this one. The obverse is a relatively clean looking coin. It's going to grade about a 65. There you go, Mr. Gravett. Try another one here and see what happens. Next, Bulldog. For looking through coins on a regular basis, I use a microscope, which is not an electronic scope at all. It's just a optical microscope. It's a stereo zoom microscope, or stereo optical infinite zoom. Stereo optical means that you've got more than one eyepiece, hopefully two, because if you have three, you have a problem. And the infinite zoom part means that you don't have a knob that only allows you 10x or 20x, something like that. You have a knob that actually moves the optics up and down and gives you a continuous zoom. This one's from 0.7x up to 3.5x. And then what happens is you take a 10x eyepiece, you put 10x eyepieces on, and you get 7x to 35x. And that's how that works. Oh, next one's a house. And as Mr. Harmon said, he wanted those, so this would be a Mr. Harmon coin. Oh. See that little tiny flag on the top of the crossload of the 4? It's on the very edge of the 4 nearest the rim. And you can see a little tiny black line sticking up out of the top of that, which would be the bottom the way you're looking at it. That could be a very minor double die obverse that somebody else might list, but Copper Coins does not. See what we got here. Nothing up my sleeve on this side. Let's see what's going on over here. Take a look at the reverse. The reverse is kind of weak on this one. And just a late dice date reverse. I photograph my coins through the eyepiece of my non-electronic microscope. Now if you're asking about, and I use either my cell phone for that or I use one of these little guys, just a little pocket camera. These work pretty well if you put this right up against the eyepiece of the microscope. Takes a picture pretty well. I've been using it for years to publish my stuff on Copper Coins, so you can take a look at the pictures there and judge for yourself. This one belongs to Mr. Gravett. Let's see what we got going on here. Well, it appears as though we're probably just going to keep running into the same dies over and over because we're down to under half the roll remaining. And typically, you're not going to find a die in the last half that you didn't see in the first half. My site, meaning Copper Coins, doing a little bit of playing around with the idea of working on publishing the next version. But as for work, any current work that we'd be talking about on Copper Coins is actually just new photos being added, new dies being added to the existing website. We haven't really gone anywhere yet. trying to access it and it's showing offline. That's probably because earlier today there was an outage with all the servers that my website was on a bank for. If you do a control refresh, hit control and F5, you'll do a force refresh on the website and it'll go back to the server to reload it instead of reloading the page that says that it's offline. Don't know how to do that using a phone. I'm more of a PC person. Never even thought how to force refresh a website using a phone. There's a lot of things you can't do using a phone. There's a lot of people whose experience on the internet has been severely curtailed because they don't know that they're using a device that a lot of functionality has been cut away so they could fit it on a little tiny screen. You've dabbled in servers. I don't do servers at all, which is why I pay someone else to deal with that. I do code. I do graphics. I do all my own graphics. I do programming code. Todd Carmen. And I've seen this die before. It's got that big die scratch coming off the bottom of the chin. That means there's nothing on this because it's yet another normal coin. Normal coin with a lot of luster. These things are hard to look at through this microscope. This microscope, boys and girls, is a dynoscope. Dynoscopes are quite expensive, and for the really close-up views, it does a very good job. For the not so close-up views like this one here, the lighting tends to be a little too close to the coin and a little too bright, just like a lot of the other USB microscopes. And they tend to make the coin too bright and make it almost impossible to really do a job like this. Let's grab it. My first computer was a VIC-20, so I know what a Commodore 64 is. I remember that stuff. Remember PC Magazine had pages and pages of machine code to type in and save, and you could play a game after you got finished typing in all that machine code. Just a whole bunch of, I guess it wasn't hexadecimal because I don't remember typing any letters. I'm guessing it was maybe octal. Not really sure how it operated. Either way, it was boring, very boring. The games were exciting for a couple of weeks. Then you just wanted another magazine to get a different game to put in there. Mr. Carmen. What do we got for Mr. Carmen? Absolutamente nada. Let's see. There. Wait. I think I see a double die. It's minor, but it's more major than anything I've seen so far. Look right there on the bottom of the L. See that? There's a little tiny nub right there on the bottom of the L. Let's zoom that in and see what we can see. Yeah, I'm a severe nerd. I get excited about stuff. You see it right there? If you look straight down the very center of the vertical bar down below the L, you'll see just a little light spot there. That's actually metal sticking up. It's going to be really hard to see with this microscope. There, you can see it there. Let me keep twirling it around and see if I get a better... I did get a better angle right there. Is that a piece of junk? I'm going to be mad. That's a piece of junk. Get this little Q-tip out of here. Dab that for just a sec. And let me find the L again. It was a piece of junk. Murder, slay me. Oh my gosh. I tell you what, they don't pay enough for this job. Darn it. Thought I'd found something nice. Yep, it's gone. Oh well. In the fleeting moment. There's a spot on the top of the head, too. These aren't in focus. What's going on here? I must have over-focused. There we go. Alright, let's look at the other side. Sorry, Todd. Got everybody excited, including myself. But I do that sometimes. There have been rolls that I've been through before that were bank wrapped rolls that only one coin in the entire roll was a die variety. It was a 1968 D roll. I went through it in 2004. And out from that roll came one single example of double die reverse number 1. Oh, I gotta figure out who this belongs to first. Major double die reverse, Mr. Adams. Major double die reverse, but it was the only one in that roll. I was so happy and so pissed at the same time. Is that waxy looking stuff? That comes from the counting machines. Counting and rolling machines. Not really sure why, but I've seen plenty of it in different rolls at different times. Mostly bank wrapped rolls. Is when somebody bought a bag and decided to wrap them themselves or put them in tubes. You don't see that stuff. Here's coin number 37. Does it belong to? I got 2 of them. Here we go. Single one. Just grab it. Oh, it's a nice clean looking coin there. I keep getting fooled by the L. Nothing going on. If I was looking at these under a microscope, I'd have been done with a roll. I mean, just my regular microscope. I'd been done with a roll inside of 2 minutes. It's about how long it takes me to go through a roll typically when I'm just doing it by myself. I'll try to get my wife to film me sometime just going through a roll and show you how I do it. It's actually a really quick process. I can get through a dozen rolls inside of, an hour. Who belongs to coin number 38? Mr. Betts. The Betts. What do we have here? It's the same thing we had before. But honestly, I didn't know. I couldn't have known this was all normal until now. Hey, Art. Nothing, Art, nothing has come out of this roll but normal coins, and it's frustrating. But the one thing I can tell you that's actually good with this is that all the coins are generally pretty nice condition. There's a lot of gem coins in here. A few spotted ones, but mostly gems. Other than that, I can't tell you anything good about it. So far, I've not seen anything, not even minor stuff. 64 is usually one of those dates where you'll find something here and there. We need to start talking here about what I am going to open as your second shot roll. If we want to do another 64 plain roll. Because well, they say it's not over till the fat lady sings, and I understand that. The fat lady's just getting ready to sing. We've got what? 4, 8, 9, 10 coins left. Mr. Gravitt gets another one here. But let's take a look at Mr. Gravitt's next coin. See if he turns the luck for the rest of the roll. Ooh, this is an earlier dice date coin. This one looks nice and sharp. Looks like it could be a different die from the other ones I've seen so far. There's not a bunch of muckety muck going on like there was in the others. What did Coin Dragon have to take off? Did he go poof? Good luck, everyone, he says, as he goes poof. Well, another normal coin. I can understand. This is one of those things where it's part entertainment and part just proof of what we're getting so everyone knows. But if it came right down to this being an entertaining show, this particular episode, this is going to go to Mr. Don Harmon because it has house on it. It's coin number 41 in the roll. It came down to this being entertaining. I don't think I would really make it go this far. Yeah, this is one of those rolls that if I'd been going through it all by myself, I probably would have given up on it by now. Oops. Let's flip this over and see what's on the other side. And another normal one. Let's do the next roll, one with mint mark. How about, I don't know, what do we say, 1963D? How about that? Bet I get out a 63D roll and do that as your second roll, and I'll do that tomorrow. How does that sound? Mr. Adams? And that will be one that I will go ahead and I'll set it up this evening. And I think 63D would give us a decent chance of finding something that has some sort of value. And, or I could do 64D. It'd be the same year as this and give you a 1964 PD set for your, what, dollar or less, whatever you paid. I can't remember now. Now, at least maybe you got a chance of finding RPMs plus double dies. Because there's double dies in the 64D that are pretty well known. RPMs, there's not very many double die obverses known. Todd Carmen. But there are a few double die reverses. In fact, there's close to 20 of them. You know what I was after in this. I was looking for that DDO number 1. Or DDR number 1, I'm sorry. No such luck. My dog's sitting outside the door whining. He's wondering how come Daddy came in here and closed the door. Well, Daddy came in here and closed the door because he comes in here and starts snoring. So if he's near me, he's going to lay down and go to sleep and start snoring. If he's not near me, he's going to whine for me. So I can't win no matter what I do. But like with most kids and good dogs, you can't win for losing, but you got to love them. Mr. Gravitt. So down to coin number 44. We've got 6 coins remaining, including this one. He's really pining to get in the room. I'll let him in after I finish. So when I finish this, I'm going to have to go ahead and take off. Another appointment coming up here pretty soon. It is 6 o'clock. We've been on this for 1 hour now. And I've got a total of 6 coins remaining. Who's next? Both the house coins are gone. So, Todd Carmen. Mr. Carmen gets coin number 45. Yeah, well, let's take a look at coin number 45 and see what we've got going on here. Oh, probably not much more than I've seen in all the other coins that have come out of this roll. A little disappointing. Was a nice bank wrapped roll. It looked pretty promising on the outside. You just never know. You really don't. You get nice electricity out of one roll and absolutely nothing out of the next. That's how this one worked out. Except it wasn't the electricity, it was the next. Ooh, what's next? Mr. Gravett. Oh, did we lose? Oh, it looks like I'm still going. That's weird. Can somebody say something so I know that you're still watching? My screen went to the splash screen. Does everybody see me? Okay, well, I guess everybody still sees me. I don't know why I can't see myself, but I don't really care to see myself, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, Mr. Gravett got this one. Is that correct? Yeah. Mr. Gravett got this one, so let's take a look at it real quick. Okay, this has got those die scratches running from the date up to the throat. So we've seen this die before. Let's see what we've got going on. Absolutely nothing on the reverse, as with all the other coins, and I'm going to bet the last four are probably going to be about the same. I'm just glad these coins are in pretty good shape. Of course, no fingerprints because they came straight out of a... Well, I can't say that necessarily. I've actually opened a mint-sealed bag and found fingerprints inside. Had to be Mint employees. Mr. Adams? And what I'm going to do is probably take the same order of pull for the next bunch that I do, which is probably, I think I'm going to do a 64D roll. And like for instance, Robert Adams will get coin number 47 in that roll as well. I think maybe I'll do it that way so I don't have to go through the pulling process. All I gotta do is just go through the roll and, well, everybody is just going to get another coin. Alright, coin number 48, I got 3 left. Bulldog. Haven't pulled his name in a while. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Mr. Bulldog. I see that little tiny tail thing coming off the top of the cross with 4. That is a very minor double die obverse. Very minor, meaning I very much don't list those because it's so very minor. Here's another one of those ones on the T, on the cross-loaded. I'm going to try to get this in the right position to actually see it very well. Sorry. Make everybody seasick here. Oh, come on. I guess maybe I was seeing things, because I don't see it now. Okay. Well, there are very minor double die obverses with the crosslet of the T. One T or the other, and I don't know why it only affected the T and not the other letters too, but it does happen. Alright, Bulldog. That's coin number 48. Who does coin number 49? Are plantain chips bad for squirrels? I doubt it. Mr. Gravett. Plantain chips are simply starch. Why didn't you like the plantain chips? What is that? That's just weird. Let's see if that's sitting on the top of the coin and comes off very easily with a little dusting. Yeah, it does. Well, I don't know what that was. It looked like bugs or something. Yeah, here's more of it. I have no idea what that is. But it's just dust on the coin. It comes right off. And I'm seeing nothing. Well, you probably got the salted plantain chips instead of the maduros. Maduritos are they're okay. Let me stop stuttering and actually spit it out. Plantains, as they here's Bulldog again. He gets the last coin in the roll. Plantain chips are something that, of course, they come from plantains. And plantains, what happens with them as they ripen, they get sweet. And they're a little different from bananas in the sense that plantains are not sweet at all. They're very starchy and don't have much flavor until they turn black. Once they turn black, then they're really sweet. And the 63 is really common for this too. The lamination stuff around the rim. But once the plantains have had a chance to turn black and get sweet, and you shave those off into chips and put them through the oven and fry them and everything, they are absolutely gorgeous tasting. Love them. If I can get a bag of them, I'll try to get you a bag and get it shipped off to Oregon. But I'll have to look around and see if it's even possible here. So there's all 50 coins. And unfortunately, we didn't find anything really worthwhile out of this mess. So we're going to pick another roll. I'm going to go with probably a 64D roll. Go down and grab one of my 64D original bank wrap rolls, and then we'll go through it. I'm going to do that. I'm kind of wondering if I can do it tomorrow because I have something else scheduled for tomorrow that I don't have a firm time on right now. I will do it as an OBW roll reveal number 5A. It will be a 1964D bank wrapped scent roll. And I will broadcast that either tomorrow or Sunday, and I will give you guys at least a fair warning on copper coins. I can't do it now. I don't have time. I have another appointment I have to go to. So I'll have to do it tomorrow or Sunday. And when I get to it tomorrow or Sunday, when I know when I'm going to be able to do it, I'll post it in copper coins. And I'll create the event here on YouTube. What you have to do with this particular video, if you hit the little bell down below the video, you see a bell with the little icons down there. And what that'll do is it'll turn notifications on for my channel. So when I create a new event, you'll get a notification that this event has been created. And you'll know what time it'll be and when to show up. And then you click on it to go to that event, and when I come in and start actually doing the roll reveal, you'll be here watching. And so that's what I'm hoping happens, and it'll be tomorrow or Sunday. I'll do a 1964D roll to add together with these 1964s. Most of you got these for between 60 and 75 cents a spot. So you'll be getting 2 BU coins instead of 1. And that's just the kind of thing I do. Well, we could do a hangout. We could do something else. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and dump this broadcast now and let people rewatch. This is going to be a really low rating one because, well, there's nothing worthwhile in this roll other than some decent, nice BU coins. But I'll see everybody around. Thank you very much for coming. Have a great evening.